We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. France joins Western allies in recognizing Palestinian state ahead of UN General Assembly. Netanyahu threatens countries of fierce response. Palestinian president calls for Hamas to surrender weapons in UN address, appreciates mediation efforts of Qatar, Egypt, US to end Gaza conflict, calls for permanent ceasefire. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar meets a US counterpart on the sidelines of UNGA. Discussion focuses on strengthening strategic cooperation in key areas, including trade, defense and energy. President Droupadi Murmu to confer the 71st National Film Awards in New Delhi. Malayalam superstar Mohanlal to be honoured with Dada Saheb Phalke Award. Well, on to the details now. France has formally recognized a Palestinian state, becoming the latest in a wave of countries to take the step. The leaders of 6 countries, including France, have moved to recognize the Palestinian statehood at the high-level summit ahead of the annual United Nations General Assembly meeting in Paris. Alongside France, which co-convened the meeting with Saudi Arabia, Andorra, Belgium, Luxembourg, Malta and Monaco said they were recognizing the Palestinian state. Speaking at the United Nations in New York, President Emmanuel Macron said the time for peace has come and that nothing justifies the ongoing conflict in Gaza.
Pour la paix entre le peuple israélien.
For peace between the Israeli people and the Palestinian people, I declared that France today recognizes the state of Palestine. The time has come to stop the war, the bombings in Gaza, the massacres and the fleeing populations. The time for peace has come because we are moments away from no longer being able to grasp it.
Aujourd'hui, l'État de Palestine.
Well, dozens of world leaders gathered at the United Nations on Monday to advocate for a Palestinian state, marking a significant diplomatic shift nearly 2 years into the Gaza conflict. Saudi Arabia's foreign minister, Prince Faisal bin Farhan, addressing the Israeli-Palestinian two-state solution summit, underscored Riyadh's commitment to peace efforts and called for an independent Palestinian state based on the 1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital.
إن المملكة عازمة على مواصلة شراكة.
We call on all other countries to take a similar historic step that will have a great impact on supporting the efforts toward the implementation of the two-state solution, achieve permanent and comprehensive peace in the Middle East, and find a new reality whereby the region can enjoy stability and prosperity.
تنفيذ حل الدولتين.
Well, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas reiterated his stance that militant groups like Hamas must surrender their weapons to the Palestinian Authority, emphasizing the need for one unified state without weapons. Abbas also pledged to hold presidential and parliamentary elections within a year after the war's conclusion.
Hamas and other factions must surrender their weapons to Palestinian Authority. What we want is one unified state without weapons, a state with one law and one legitimate security force. We stress our condemnation of the occupation's crime. We also condemn the killing and detention of civilians, including Hamas action on October 7, 2023.
Well, meanwhile, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres expressed disappointment over the absence of full Palestinian representation at the summit and condemned the ongoing conflict.
I also want to acknowledge the Palestinian delegation and once again note my disappointment that they were denied the opportunity to be fully represented.
And Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum called for an end to the genocide in Gaza during her morning press conference on Monday ahead of the annual UN high-level general debate, following the recognition of the state of Palestine by many Western states. Well, asked about the position Mexico will defend at the New York summit, the president said the foreign minister will bring a message of peace, adding that Mexico has joined the international community to call for an end to the genocide in Gaza. This is the first time Sheinbaum has called the Israel-Gaza conflict genocide. The president also recalled that a government had recognized the Palestinian ambassador to Mexico for the first time. And Sri Lankan President Anurakumara Disarm has departed for the United States on Monday night to take part in the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly. Well, according to the President's media division, Disarm is scheduled to deliver Sri Lanka's address to the Assembly on Wednesday, that is September 24th. He's also expected to hold talks with the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres and several world leaders on the sidelines of the session. In addition to high-level diplomatic engagements, the President will meet members of the Sri Lankan diaspora in the United States. The visit comes as Colombo seeks to deepen international partnerships and present its position on pressing global and regional issues. Foreign Minister Bijeta Hirat also oversaw foreign employment and tourism, accompanying the President during the official visit. Well, in the latest update in Ukraine-Russia conflict, Russia claimed on Monday its forces had taken control of another settlement in Ukraine's Dnipropetrovsk region amid its ongoing offensive in the conflict-torn country's east. In a statement, Russian Defense Ministry claimed that its forces captured the village of Kalinivske, situated about 29 kilometers west of the strategic town of Velaika Novosilka. But a Ukrainian military spokesperson said the Russian report was untrue and that Moscow's troops had made less progress in the region than they had reported. Ukraine's military said it is engaged in counter-attack operations in part of Donetsk region, the focal point of the conflict. Meanwhile, EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas said if Russian planes violate airspace, every country has the right to defend itself and act accordingly.
Well, it is clear that Russia is testing us. How far it can go. It's also trying to sow fear within our societies that, if we are supporting Ukraine, then this war comes to other territories and it's expanding. And that's why we have to be very firm on this. Now, as the Polish Prime Minister today said, if the planes are violating airspace, every country has the right to defend itself and act accordingly. And this is, I think, important to understand that everybody has an obligation in front of their own citizens that these kind of incursions are not happening.
Well, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Tuesday he met with the President of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev. The Ukrainian leader said they discussed in detail the efforts of Ukraine, the United States and Europe to bring the conflict to an end. The leaders also addressed trade and economic cooperation as well as the interest of Kazakh companies in participating in Ukraine's recovery, he added. And US President Donald Trump on Monday linked autism to childhood vaccines and also to the use of popular pain medication Tylenol for pregnant women and children, claims which are not backed by decades of science. In an extraordinary news conference at the White House, the Republican president delivered medical advice to pregnant women and parents of young children, repeatedly telling them not to use or administer the over-the-counter painkiller.
Like it is. Don't take Tylenol. Don't take it. If you just can't, it's fight like hell not to take it. There may be a point where you have to, and that you have to work out with yourself. So don't take Tylenol.
Well, the Trump administration said it plans to initiate a change to the safety label on Tylenol, which would say that research shows it can lead to adverse neurological outcomes. President Trump, without presenting evidence for the claim, said that the FDA will notify doctors that using Tylenol during pregnancy can be associated with a very increased risk of autism. The Trump administration also suggested leucovorin, a form of folic acid, as a treatment for autism symptoms.
We have also identified an exciting therapy that may benefit large numbers of children who suffer from autism. Peer-reviewed literature has documented that up to 60% of folate-deficient children with ASD can have improved verbal communications if given leucovorin.
Well, Tylenol is made by consumer health company Kenvue, which was spun off from Johnson & Johnson in 2023, and generic versions of acetaminophen are also available. Well, the company said on Monday it disagreed with the suggestion of a link, which it said was not based on science. And US President Donald Trump has signed an executive order on Monday calling the Antifa movement a domestic terrorist organization. Well, according to the Anti-Defamation League, which tracks extremists, said Antifa is a decentralized, leaderless movement composed of loose collections of groups, networks, and individuals. Also, the White House stated that Trump's 370-word executive order directs all relevant executive departments and agencies to investigate, disrupt, and dismantle any and all illegal operations conducted by Antifa or anyone who funds such actions. Also, the White House has promised actions targeting left-wing groups following the assassination of conservative influencer Charlie Kirk. And White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt said on Monday that President Donald Trump will sign a TikTok deal later this week. Leavitt said the agreement would leave TikTok majority owned by U.S. investors and overseen by a board with extensive national security and cybersecurity credentials. Also, Leavitt said Oracle will serve as TikTok's trusted security provider, independently monitoring the platform's safeguards and hosting all U.S. user data on servers in the United States. She emphasized that Americans' data would be protected from access by China and that TikTok's recommendation algorithm would be secured, retrained, and operated in the United States outside of ByteDance's control. An Egyptian-British activist, Abdel Fattah, has been released from prison after President of Egypt granted him a pardon along with 5 others. Known for his outspoken activism, Abdel Fattah spent years in and out of jail and became a symbol of resistance in Egypt. His release follows international pressure, especially during Egypt's COP27 summit in 2022. In September, Sisi asked officials to consider pardoning him, and his name was removed from Egypt's terrorism list earlier this year. And more than 90% of Guineans approved a constitutional referendum that could allow the junta leader to run for the president. Turnout reached 91.4% in over 80% of polling stations, with 90.06% of ballots supporting the new constitution and 9.04% opposing it. While the referendum required a minimum turnout of 50% to be validated, the vote has drawn criticism from opponents who view it as a consolidation of power by junta leader General Mammootty Doumbouya, who took control in a 2021 coup. While Guinea now joins Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso among West African nations under military rule, with regional and international observers closely monitoring the developments in the politically volatile region. And still to come in this edition of DT India Live. PM Modi's Ayushman Bharat boost healthcare access. Mysore Palace gears up for world-famous Dasara festival. And Ousmane Dembele clinches Ballon d'Or in Paris after leading PSG to historic treble.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio on Monday in New York. Meeting on the sidelines of the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly, the two leaders discussed a range of bilateral and international issues of current concern. Well, Dr. Jaishankar in a social media post said that they also agreed on the importance of sustained engagement to progress on priority areas. Also, Secretary Rubio posted on social media saying the meeting focused on various aspects of the bilateral partnership aimed at enhancing prosperity for both the nations. He further said the discussions were focused on key areas of bilateral trade, including trade, energy, pharmaceuticals, and critical minerals. This marks the third in-person meeting between Jaishankar and Rubio this year. The last interaction took place on the 1st of July during the Quad Foreign Ministers meeting in Washington. And the Indian External Affairs Minister also met with EU foreign ministers at their informal meeting in New York. In a social media post, Dr. Jaishankar thanked EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas for hosting him. He further stated that they exchanged views on multilateralism, India-EU partnership, Ukraine and Gaza conflict, energy and trade. Also, talks with European Union foreign ministers on India-EU partnership, Ukraine and Gaza conflicts happened. U.S. Special Envoy for South and Central Asia and Ambassador nominee to India, Sergey Gore, also met with India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. Jaishankar, on the margins of the UN General Assembly. And Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh met with Morocco's Minister of Trade, Riyad Mysore, on Monday in Rabat. The Moroccan Trade Minister welcomed Defence Minister Rajnath Singh in the North African nation and emphasized strengthening industry cooperation between the two nations. The deliberations were focused on strengthening industry partnerships in key areas such as defence, pharmaceuticals and chemicals. Well, President Droupadi Murmu will present the awards to the winners at the 71st National Film Awards ceremony in New Delhi today. Legendary actor, director and producer Mohanlal will also be conferred the prestigious Dada Saheb Phalke Award for the year 2023. Well, the Best Feature Film Award will be given to the Hindi movie 12th Fail, while the Best Hindi Film Award will be presented to the Hindi movie Katal, a Jackfruit Mystery. National Film Awards in the Best Actor category will be conferred to actor Shah Rukh Khan for his film Jawan and actor Vikrant Massey for 12th Fail. Well, Rani Mukherjee has been given the Best Actress Award for her performance in the film Mrs. Chatterjee vs. Norway, while Flowering Man, directed by Soumyajit Ghosh, Dasteda, has bagged the Best Non-Feature Film Award. Piyush Thakur has got the Best Direction Award. God, Vulture and Human have got the award for Best Documentary. Hindi film Rocky Aur Rani Ki Prem Kahani bagged the award for Best Popular Film for Wholesome Entertainment, while Sam Bahadur was named Best Feature Film promoting national, social and environmental issues. And with multiple welfare schemes, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has always set the focus of the government on making healthcare available to all the sections of society.
World's largest health insurance scheme, Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Scheme, ensures cashless care, nationwide hospital access and support for the poor, elderly and vulnerable. The scheme provides health cover of Rs 5 lakh per family per year for secondary and tertiary care hospitalization to approximately 55 crore beneficiaries. Till now, Ayushman cards have been issued to over 41 crore beneficiaries.
Poor people like us, where would we go? Our lakhs of rupees would have been used up. But because of the Prime Minister, I am better today. I have a heart issue and I need a pacemaker machine in my heart.
In October 2024, the scheme was expanded to include all senior citizens above 70 years of age. More than 6 crore people have already started receiving benefits under Ayushman Vaya Vandana cards. Almost half of the patients availing treatment are women. The biggest advantage of this scheme is its portability. A card issued in one state can be used for treatment in another state. Over 12 lakh people have already benefited from this interstate portability.
इस स्कीम ने access to healthcare बढ़ाई.
This scheme has increased the access to healthcare and has given confidence to the poor that their treatment can be done. Just come forward. And it became possible without causing a heavy dent to the pockets of the poor. So this is a welfare scheme for the poor.
तो ये बिल्कुल गरीब कल्याण की स्कीम है.
By reducing out-of-pocket expenditure and ensuring timely treatment, the Ayushman Bharat scheme has truly transformed healthcare access for the poor. It stands as a revolutionary step towards a healthy and empowered India. Nitendra Singh's report for DD India.
Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended greetings to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the people of Israel and the Jewish community worldwide on the occasion of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. Prime Minister Modi in a social post said, and I quote, Sahana Tova, warmest Rosh Hashanah greetings to my friend Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the people of Israel and the Jewish community worldwide. Wishing everyone a new year filled with peace, hope and good health, unquote. And United Nations General Assembly proclaimed September 23rd as International Day of Sign Languages, a day observed annually to raise awareness about the importance of sign languages for the human rights of deaf communities worldwide. Well, its primary objective range from understanding and promoting the importance of sign language to protecting the rights of the deaf community and providing equal opportunities for them. The percentage of deaf people in India is approximately 2.2% of the total population. This population of approximately 25 million people is contributing to the creation of a great India by using sign language. And on to some business news now. NVIDIA and OpenAI on Monday announced a letter of intent for a landmark strategic partnership to deploy at least 10 gigawatts of NVIDIA systems for OpenAI's next generation AI infrastructure. Well, NVIDIA will invest up to $100 billion in OpenAI as the new NVIDIA systems are deployed. The first phase is targeted to come online in the second half of 2026 using NVIDIA's Vera Rubin platform. NVIDIA would support the deployment, including data center and power capacity to train and run its next generation of models on the path of deploying superintelligence. And in sports news, Paris Saint-Germain winger Ousmane Dembélé clinched the Ballon d'Or in Paris for his starring role in the club's Champions League triumph last season. The 28-year-old France forward Dembélé became the 6th French player to lift the award and the first since Karim Benzema in 2022. He beat Spain and Barcelona forward Lamine Yamal with his PSG teammate Vitinha taking 3rd place, while Spain's Aitana Bonmati, the Champions League Player of the Season, won the Women Ballon d'Or for the 3rd time in the row. The Paris Saint-Germain, who won the treble of Champions League, Ligue 1 and the French Cup last season, were named a Team of the Season. Luis Enrique was voted Best Coach and Gianluigi Donnarumma was recognized as top goalkeeper with the Yashin Trophy. While England's manager Serena Wigman was honoured as Women's Coach of the Year after leading her side to the European title. And as Navratri begins, Mysore Palace prepares for the Grand Dasara festival, Karnataka's biggest celebration. Starting from Monday, the city lights up with 97,000 lights, leading to the iconic Jambu Savari procession on October 2. Dive into 400 years of rich history and vibrant traditions of Mysore Dasara.
Dasara is one of Mysore's most vibrant festivals, celebrated with immense enthusiasm. Also known as Vijay Dashmi, it transforms the city into a dazzling spectacle with streets and landmarks adorned in radiant lights. Mysore Dasara's history stretches back over 400 years, possibly to the 14th century Vijayanagara Empire. Official records mark its start in 1610, making it a cornerstone of Karnataka's cultural heritage. Today, it draws thousands from India and abroad to witness its royal grandeur. During Dasara, Mysore sparkles with over 100,000 bulbs lighting up the palace and streets. For the best experience, visit at night to soak in the magical glow that defines this festival's charm. The Ambari procession is the highlight, with a majestic elephant carrying the 750 kilograms golden idol of goddess Chamundeshwari from the palace to Banni Mantapa. Adorned elephants trained for weeks create a breathtaking spectacle that inspires awe. The 11th festival kicks off with a puja at Chamundi Hill on September 22nd, followed by cultural programs, art expos and food festivals. This year, Mysore Dasara dazzles with new highlights like mesmerizing drone shows and a vibrant food festival featuring Mysore Park and local delicacies. From families enjoying treasure hunts to artists showcasing at Kala Jatre, the community's spirit shines, making this Nada Habba a global celebration of Karnataka's pride. Bureau Report, DD India.
All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.